Can the Chicago Bears get revenge against the Washington Commanders on Monday Night Football? Watch this video to hear my thoughts. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears pregame prediction video, which I'll be doing before every single Bears game this year. And this is a game that every Bears fan, every Bears player has circled on their calendar because of what happened last year. The infamous Hail Mary, which I'm sure is going to be replayed over and over again before the broadcast on Monday Night Football. I'm probably just going to not watch the pregame show because they're going to keep on playing that clip over and over again. But that Hail Mary incident basically caused our last season to fall apart. Okay, obviously we know Tyreek Stevenson taunting the fans. Jayden Daniels throws one up, it gets deflected, it lands in the arms of that receiver, and yeah, the Commanders win that game, and the Bears season just goes off the rails from there. Massive losing streak. Head coach eventually gets fired, and it was just a complete disaster of a game for the Chicago Bears, a game that they should have won and really exposed the 2024 Chicago Bears. So fast forward a year later, can the Chicago Bears get their revenge with a new head coach, with new roster pieces? I'll be very curious to find out. This is one of the biggest games on the schedule, guys. I know it's only one game, but it is a Monday Night Football showdown. It's between two year two quarterbacks in Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams. Caleb is returning to his hometown. He's from the DC area. The last matchup didn't go so well for Caleb. I mean, he performed pretty well in the fourth quarter, but the first three quarters, the Bears offense was dormant, right? So hopefully Caleb and the offense can get more things going throughout the majority of this game. And hopefully the Bears can get a massive win here on Monday Night Football, because make no mistake about it, guys, if the Bears win this game, I'm firmly buying the Chicago Bears to be a playoff contending team this year, because the Commanders are a damn good football team. So if the Bears can go on the road and beat a team like this, it proves a lot of things to the national audience, to the Bears fan base as well. It really shows what the Chicago Bears team is made of if they can win this game. But that's a big if, guys. Okay, the Bears are underdogs by about 5.5 points. Being on the road, you know, for sure the Commanders are the better team right now on paper, and because of everything they did last year. But there's a reason why you play the games. Anything can happen any given Sunday or any given Monday in this instance. And the Commanders right now, guys, are 3-2. They're coming off a pretty big win against the Chargers. Before that, Jayden Daniels got injured for a couple of games, but they still beat the Raiders pretty handily with their backup, Marcus Mariota. So, you know, they're off to a pretty decent start. Jayden looked pretty good in the last game, and the roster has a lot of veterans on it. It's actually one of the oldest rosters in all of football. They traded for Laramie Tunsil. They picked up some other guys as well. So pretty stacked team, I would say, on paper, but we'll see how they play against the Bears. But let me break down both sides of the ball for them, talking about the Commanders offense first of all. And they rank number 8 in points scored per game, number 13 in yards gained per game, number 23 passing attack, and number 1 rushing attack. And the key glaring stat here is that they have the best rushing attack in football. It's an elite ground game. They have multiple guys chiming in. They got the rookie Bill Krosky-Merritt, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, but they call him Bill. He has 283 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Insanely productive. He's averaging more than 6 yards per carry. So he has been one of the best backs in football up to this point. If you look at Jayden Daniels, the quarterback, he is also a rushing threat. He has 124 rushing yards, which is pretty good considering the fact that he missed a couple games this season as well. You know, they got Deebo Samuel also, who they traded for, who's having some rushing success as well. He has 46 rushing yards, which, you know, not that much, but he's still a threat to take a carry here and there. And as a team, the Commanders are averaging 5.9 yards per carry. That is ridiculous, okay? They have the best ground game in football. They're super efficient. Cliff Kingsbury, his run designs have been fantastic. The run blocking up front has been really damn solid. So that's the thing I'm most worried about with this game, because the Bears don't have a good run defense, right? So if the Commanders can really run the ball effectively throughout this game, it could be a tough matchup for the Bears. But talking more about the Commanders' offense, talking about their passing attack, it's not been as proficient up to this point, but part of that's because, you know, they suffered a major injury. Terry McLaurin has been out for a couple of games, but he might be back in this game. I'm recording this video on Tuesday afternoon, so as of this time, we don't know Terry McLaurin's status, but there is a chance he could return in this game, and if he does, I mean, he's one of the best receivers in all of football. So far, he doesn't have insane production up to this point this year, but he's just all around a very good receiver, really productive no matter who the quarterback is. He can go over the middle, he can go over the top, he can run basically any route in the book, okay, he's a very underrated receiver. So if Terry returns, that's a tough matchup for the Bears cornerbacks. And so far, Deebo Samuel in the receiving game, he's also been performing big time. He has 300 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. So Deebo has been a tremendous acquisition for the Commanders. He's really turning back the clock and giving them a lot of what he gave the San Francisco 49ers when he was with that team. And talking about Jayden Daniels for a little bit, obviously he got injured, so his stats are not as high as the other year 2 quarterbacks up to this point. But in the games he played, he was pretty solid. He has 664 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But he has taken 8 sacks on the season, which is a lot for the games that he played, right? So the pass protection up front, in some regards, has not been the best up to this point. Some of the plays, Jayden has also held onto the football a little bit too long. So, definitely taking a good amount of sacks, but he's also been pretty productive as a passer, not making too many mistakes, 0 interceptions. So Jayden is still, a pretty solid quarterback. We'll see what he can do against a Bears defense who has been struggling a lot to begin the season. Now, before I continue with the video, for those of my subscribers out there that are blue-collar workers that are working maybe in construction sites, maybe in the fields, or whatever you're out there doing, you're getting your hands and feet dirty and gritty. If you guys want the best workwear, I'd highly recommend using Brunt Workwear, the sponsor of today's video. And Brunt Workwear actually sent me a couple boots. They sent me this pair of Marin boots, which I hadn't worn any boots like this in my life before, but I've worn these a few times, guys, and they are really comfortable. You don't have to wait a long time to break them in. They're super comfortable right out the box, and not only are they comfortable, they're built to perform. Whether you need waterproof, safety toe, soft toe, pull on, or lace up, they've got options that can handle whatever job site you're working into. And even if you're not a blue collar worker, guys, like, I'm a YouTuber, I do accounting for my full-time job, but I'm outside, obviously still walking around, and these are super comfortable to walk in, especially when it's super muddy outside. And for a limited time, guys, my listeners actually get $10 off Brunt when you use code DWC at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com, use code DWC, and you're good to go. Switching over to the Commanders defense, though, they rank number 9 in points allowed per game, number 24 in yards allowed per game, number 23 pass defense, number 17 run defense. And a big weakness here has been their pass defense. Has been one of the worst in all of football. Their secondary has not been good. If you look at the entire secondary, according to PFF, like, their coverage grades all across the board are pretty bad. The best grade is going to Trey Amos, the rookie, who even he only has a mediocre coverage grade. They've been allowing big time play after big time play. They've been undisciplined. They've been out of place pretty often. So reading their depth chart, they got Mike Sanders still at nickelback. They got Marshawn Lattimore on the outside. They got Trey Amos on the other side. They got Jeremy Reeves at safety, strong safety, and then they got Quan Martin at free safety. And, the backups, they got Darnell Savage back there as well. So, some of these guys on occasion, they made some plays on the ball, but they're just not tremendous in coverage to begin this year. Now, the Commanders front seven, though, does have a good amount of highly drafted talent. They got my guy, Jerzon Newton from the Fighting Illini. He's not been a star or anything, but he certainly has the potential. They got Deron Payne. They got Dorrance Armstrong, who's been pretty productive. Javon Kinlaw has been a pretty good acquisition for them. Frankie Louvu. They got Bobby Wagner, who's been a pretty good linebacker, even though he's getting so old. Bobby Wagner has always been a beast, right? And they also acquired Von Miller, which I totally forgot about in the offseason as well. They got 15 sacks on the year up to this point. So in terms of getting sacks, they've been decent. The run defense has not been the best, and they definitely leave something to be desired. Like, this is not a very great or very good defense, but it is certainly a middle of the pack or maybe like a little bit below average defense, which when you have a great offense, you can still win a lot of games with that type of defense. And they're not allowing a shit ton of points, right? Like, they're top 10 in points allowed because they have been pretty good in the red zone as well. But switching over to our Chicago Bears, let me break down the offense for them. They rank number 11 in points scored per game, number 17 in yards gained per game, number 14 passing attack, and number 24 run game. And Caleb Williams in year 2 is having a very solid start, but can he get that signature win, guys? Okay, so far, Caleb in his career, he has not gotten that signature premier win against a very good team, especially being on the road. He got pretty close to doing that last year. He should have beat the Packers. He should have beat the Lions on Thanksgiving if our coach wasn't an absolute fucking idiot, right? But so far, like, he doesn't have that signature win. And I think that if he gets that win against the Commanders, on the road, especially to get the revenge for what happened last year, a lot of people in the media, a lot of people in other NFL fan bases are going to start to look at Caleb Williams a lot differently, because right now the narrative around Caleb is that he's not a great quarterback. He doesn't have as much upside as Jayden Daniels or Drake May, which I think is insanely stupid. I mean, Caleb has done so many great things this year and also showed flashes of doing it last year as well, but the media loves to hate on Caleb. So if he wants to shut them up, he can go out here and perform well and get a signature win against his hometown team. And if you look at his stats, he has 927 passing yards, 8 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's taken 7 sacks. So in terms of taking sacks, he's definitely been better in that regard. The last game against the Raiders was a little bit of a struggle in the first half, but he also had backup offensive linemen at tackle to deal with. So I hope in this game we can get Darnell Wright back, because getting him back on the right side would be a big boost to the offensive line. He missed the last game, and I'm recording this video super early on Tuesday, so I don't know if he's going to play or not. If I had to guess, I think he will play, because you had the bye week last week, you had an extra week to rest, so I would hope that Darnell Wright is okay to play, because without him, you got the rookie Ozzie Trapilo on the right side, who he performed, fairly well in stretches last game, but he's not as good as Darnell Wright by any means, right? Like, he's a round 2 talent. Darnell Wright was a top 10 talent, and he's been pretty good in pass protection this year. Just the penalties have been bad, but Wright, I hope we can get him back. And on the left side, there's a good chance that Theo Benedict is going to be our starter. Okay, I made a video about this earlier, but Theo Benedict, the year 2 undrafted guy, Ben Johnson really loves him, so it looks like he's going to be starting according to Brad Biggs, which a little bit concerned about that, especially being on the road against a team like the Commanders who has 15 sacks. How is he going to fare? But Ben Johnson wanted to make this move to help the ground game. Currently, the Bears have one of the worst ground games, rushing attacks in all of football. And my question right now is it ever going to get going? Okay, a month into the season, they just cannot run the football no matter what they do. DeAndre Swift is averaging 3.3 yards per carry. Rookie Kyle Monunga is averaging 3.6 yards per carry. Nobody can run the football. Kyle Monunga at least has some ability to get yards after contact to his game, which Swift absolutely does not. Once he gets tackled, it's over. He has no ability really to plow through for any extra yardage. So it's been really just frustrating watching the Bears ground game this year, but Ben Johnson thinks a lot of it is still due to the run blocking, so that's why he made the change to Theo Benedict. He thinks he's a better run blocker, better in space as well, so we'll see if Theo can give a boost to the ground game, because right now I'm really concerned about if the Bears can run the football at all in this game. And then finally, talking about the Bears defense, they rank number 28 in points allowed per game, number 27 in yards allowed per game, number 17 pass defense, number 31 run defense. And it is really a boom or bust style of defense. I have not really seen anything like this as of late being a Bears fan, but they either allow a touchdown or they get a turnover. There is no in between. This Bears defense does not force punts. They cannot force punts. They either get a turnover or allow you to score a touchdown. And you can see that by the stats, because the Bears are number 3 in turnovers forced in the NFL. They've gotten a crazy amount of turnovers as a defense, but they've also allowed a crazy amount of yards and a crazy amount of points. So that's kind of the style that Dennis Allen plays as well. It's a very aggressive defense, and he just doesn't have the cornerback talent or the front 7 talent to have a true elite premium defense. At least the cornerbacks are coming back eventually, right? Kyler Gordon, I hope, should be back in this game. Jalen Johnson, eventually down the road in the second half, he might be coming back, but the front 7 is just not getting home to the quarterback as often as you would like. So that's why it's kind of a boom or bust type of defense. And as I mentioned, we might be getting some players back due to injury, though. Kyler Gordon will be playing in this game, according to him. He just mentioned his press conference. So getting Kyler back is going to be massive. He's one of the best nickel cornerbacks in all of football. I hope TJ Edwards can come back. I hope Grady Jarrett can come back. I hope that who else? Austin Booker as well. Okay, he's eligible to come back in this game if the Bears want to activate him. He's not made his debut yet this season, but if the Bears do activate him, there's a chance he could provide the Bears with some type of pass rush as well, which we sorely need because we have one of the worst pass rushes in all of football. One thing I do want to bring up is that Tyreek Stevenson has been having a phenomenal last 2 weeks of play. He's been one of the best cornerbacks in all of football during the last 2 weeks, he has an interception. He's barely allowed any yards in coverage at all. He's been super disciplined, pretty good tackler as well. So he's getting hot at the right time because we all know what happened last year, guys. I mean, that game really caused Tyreek Stevenson's confidence to plummet to an all-time low because he was getting hated on by the media nonstop, by fan bases nonstop, as he should have, right? Like, he was really stupid for taunting the fans, being careless, but here's his opportunity to bounce back on the national stage in front of everybody against the same team. If he can have a good game, you know, it's going to be a great thing for Tyreek Stevenson moving forward. With all that being said, let me get to my 3 keys to Bears victory. How can the Chicago Bears win this game on the road? And key number 1 is going to be to manufacture some type of a ground game. I don't care who gets the ball, if it's Kyle Monangai, if it's Travis Homer, if it's DeAndre Swift, if it's DJ Moore, Luther Burden at this point. You have to find a way to get some type of a ground game going, because what the Bears have been doing up to this point is just not sustainable against good football teams. Against good teams, you have to be able to support your quarterback with a ground game. You can't constantly be in 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 12s, and expect Caleb Williams to bail you out of those situations. Key number 2 is going to be to have a more disciplined effort against the run as a defense. Just like key number 1 on offense, it's the same on defense. If you can't stop the run, you are not going to beat a great football team. The Commanders have the best rushing attack in all of football, and so far the Bears' run defense has been pretty piss poor. A lot of it comes down to gap discipline as well. They have to be more disciplined against the run, not miss their tackles either. Like, we have the talent to field a much better run defense than we have been up to this point, so it's on the players to start executing. And then finally, key number 3 is going to be to get high-level play from QB1. Make no mistake about it, guys, this is a massive game for Caleb Williams, going to his hometown against a team that we're trying to get revenge against, you know, against a fan base that keeps on hating on Caleb nonstop. He has a chance to get respect from the national audience, from the national media as well. If he can perform well in this game, he has to be accurate. He has to be on time. He needs to limit the sacks, limit the mistakes. And if he can do that and play like he has played, you know, the past couple weeks, then it's going to be a great day for QB1 and the Bears offense. But now it's time for my score prediction. Who do I have winning this matchup? And guys, I have the Chicago Bears going on the road, losing against the Commanders by a score of 28-24. Look, I really badly want to pick a Bears win. The Bears fan in me definitely thinks there's a chance we can win this, but I have picked Bears wins every single week of the season so far. I can't just be biased and pick a Bears win every single week. Eventually, I have to pick a Bears loss, and I just think that with how bad the Bears' run defense has been, that is where the Bears could really lose this game. Okay, the Bears have not really showed any ability to stop the run, and the Commanders have a great rushing attack, the best rushing attack in football. So I do think it's going to be close and competitive, right? Like, I do anticipate Caleb to have a pretty good game. I think the Bears offense can still score a good amount of points, but because the Bears defense has been so bad against the run, it's going to be very difficult to win this game on the road. And, you know, if you look at the Bears' ground game themselves, like, we have not shown the ability to have any sort of a ground attack. So I really hope and pray I am wrong. The Bears can win this for sure, because last year against the Commanders, we should have beat them with Matt Eberflus, even if not for that last-second Hail Mary they got lucky on to some extent, right? So, you know, the Bears can match up against this team in many regards, but being on the road, I got to give the win in my prediction to the Commanders. My offense MVP of this game for the Bears is going to be Caleb Williams. I think Caleb actually has a pretty good game in this one. I'm predicting 2 passing touchdowns and 275 passing yards. And as for my defense MVP, I got to go with Tyreek Stevenson, okay? I think Tyreek is actually going to have a bounce back sort of game, you know, for the narrative, which would be pretty nice. I think he gets 1 interception in this game and plays, you know, pretty decent, but against the Commanders offense, it's going to be tough to stop everything with how bad the Bears run defense has been. If the Bears can fix their run defense in this game, then I'll change my prediction to the Bears winning. But currently, I just can't pick a Bears win until I see better play from the Bears front 7. But leave your comments down below, guys. What do you guys think is going to happen in this game? I really hate to pick a Bears loss, but maybe I'll jinx it and the Bears will win because of this. Maybe they'll get a big win. I'm really praying for that, because if they do win this game, you know, it really shows me that Ben Johnson and this team are ready to take that next step forward to be hopefully a playoff team. But leave your comments down below, guys. As always, bear down.